Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Chukotka in Russia. And if you're wondering, ASMR Geographica, your map is sideways. It isn't. This is a map of Eastern Russia, and in trying to make it accurate, this map is sliding up this way. So this is technically flat on the page, but to get everything right, it's following the curvature of the earth. So it's a little sideways, but I promise it's meant to be like that. Chukotka, as you can see, is the easternmost okrug of Russia, autonomous okrug. You can find the eastern and northernmost point of the Russian mainland, northernmost point in all of Asia, actually. And this place, it's like I said in yesterday's video, when you think of Siberia, this is what you're thinking of. You're thinking of vast open plains of nothing but snow or rocks or just grassland. Little tiny towns, most of them you can see here have actually been abandoned. And polar bears and things like that. That is what exists here. There is not a lot of people that live here. There's not really a lot of anything here. It is just beautiful wilderness. There's two very interesting islands that we'll talk about. Let's talk about Big Diomede first. So as you can see over here, it says the Diomede Islands. Here's the international date line. You can see on this side it is Sunday, on this side it is Monday. This green you see over here is Alaska. That is the United States. So there are two islands here. There's Big Diomede, and you can't see them here. I'll show them to you on Google Earth later. Big Diomede and Little Diomede. Big Diomede belongs to Russia, belongs to Chukotka. Little Diomede belongs to the USA, belongs to Alaska. And the international date line goes right between them. So you could stand on one and look into another day. You'd look at another country. You'd look at a whole completely different day. It's pretty amazing. There isn't anything on these islands. I didn't really look at Little Diomede, but Big Diomede is just a rock. It's a big rock, but a rock. There's no settlements there, so I don't know if you can just go there. But if you did, you would be able to just look at the U.S. across a very narrow strip of water and look into the past, I suppose, from Russia. Right? Yeah, because it's Monday here, it's Sunday there. You can look into a whole day into the past. Pretty amazing. The other island is Wrangel Island up here. You can see that there are settlements, but they aren't really like permanent. They're mostly for scientists or I guess really extreme ecotourists, I suppose. But Wrangel Island is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So I'm going to get out my World Heritage book and read to you this little bit about Wrangel Island. Sorry. There we go. Natural Systems of Wrangel Island Reserve in the Russian Federation. Oh goodness, this book is really... Located well above the Arctic Circle, the site includes the mountainous 7,608 square kilometer Wrangel Island, 11 square kilometer Herald Island, and surrounding waters. Wrangel was not glaciated during the Quaternary Ice Age, resulting in exceptionally high levels of biodiversity for this region. The island boasts the world's largest population of Pacific walrus. Don't tell my brother, he'd be very upset. And the highest density of ancestral polar bear dens. It is a major feeding ground for the gray whale migrating from Mexico, and the northernmost nesting ground for 100 migratory bird species, many endangered. Currently, 417 species and subspecies of vascular plants have been identified on the island, double that of any other Arctic tundra territory of comparable size, and more than any other Arctic island. Some species are derivative of widespread continental forms. Others are the result of recent hybridization, and 23 are endemic. A little fact over here says there is evidence of a Neolithic camp of Paleo-Eskimo hunters from around 3,400 years ago in Krasen Bay on the south coast. Their prey included woolly mammoth and pygmy woolly mammoth, which lived on the island until 3,700 years ago. Very fascinating. The capital of Chukotka is Anadyr, over here, located along the mouth of the Anadyr River. And this area is mainly known for mining, particularly gold mining, but we'll talk about that in history. Let's get into it. So, this area is named after the Chukchi indigenous people, which you can see the Chukchi Sea is just over here. But evidently, the Chukchi are the ancestors of a previous people group known as the Onkilons. Which I didn't find much about them, but apparently they are the people that preceded the Chukchi. And of course, there are many other ethnic groups throughout this area here, but the Chukchi are by far the dominant, largest population here. They first made contact with the Russians in 1641. And contact after that did not go very well at all for the Russians. Whenever they would come to set up a base, the Chukchi would destroy it, and everyone involved, they would come back with even more. The Chukchi would see them, it would be on sight. They were done. Sailing by, trying to land by exploratory, done. You know what I'm trying to say. Russians were not faring well here. Russians were coming here to assert their dominance and not returning. If you know what I mean. So instead of trying to resist these people, because it was clearly not working, these people are so badass, let's be real. Taking out the Russians like that. The Russians tried a completely different strategy and negotiated and decided to give the Chukchi Russian citizenship. And they established a peace treaty in 1778 and said, why don't we all just get along? Slowly but surely, Russia would start to kind of like infiltrate the landscape, is what I'm trying to say. I almost said the people, not so much the people, but the area here. Trying to set up little bases, mainly around the Arctic Sea here, to establish, nautical paths, especially around the Arctic here. And Anadyr was established in 1889. Wrangel Island wasn't officially part of anything until 1916 when Russia claimed it. Apparently they were having a dispute with Canada, and Canada tried to claim it not long after that. They brought people to settle on here, and the Russians booted them out and said, nope, this belongs to Russia, and no one's disputed that ever since, because again, it's just a bunch of walruses and polar bears and birds. There's not much going on there. There's nothing really to exploit, so Russia can have it, apparently. Apparently Canada's like, you know what, we have so many islands, you can have this one. During World War II, mining here really ramped up, especially for tin. And it was during that mining research that gold was discovered, and this became a big hotspot for gold mining. The Soviets went pretty hard on mining towns and even little nuclear bases as well. But the Soviet Union dissolved in World War I, and so did all of that industry. A lot of the towns just completely shut down, abandoned, left out in the snow and wilderness to just decay, to be taken over by polar bears in some instances. If I can find the picture of that one base, hopefully I'll look it up where it is before we go to Google Earth, because you gotta see it. It's so cute. It's little polar bears in the house. Yeah, this area's economy just absolutely tanked with the fall of the Soviet Union and didn't really start to recover until the 2000s when a certain Vlad guy put an oligarch in charge as governor, and he really started to pump this area up in terms of infrastructure, hospitals, schools, things like that, really promoting Chukchi culture. Interesting story how he took all of this money that came from very dubious sources and put it toward the people here to try to improve their lives, and he certainly did. It's still the poorest region of Russia. It's still the most sparsely populated and really just kind of sad, but not as sad as it was 30 years ago, evidently. It's slowly but surely getting better for the people here. And that is the history of Chukotka. Now, why don't I grab my tablet? First, I gotta look up where that polar bear place is because I don't want to be searching around forever trying to find it. And then I'll hit the lights and we will explore Chukotka Okrug on Google Earth. Let's go. Here we are in Chukotka. But let's start by zooming out so you can see exactly where we are in the world. Here's Russia, pretty easy to find on a map. And we are up in this corner up here. You can see Kamchatka is just down there. Japan is to the south. Alaska's literally a hop, skip, and a jump away. This was once upon a time all a big landmass known as Beringia. During the Ice Age, humans would just walk across, and that's how ancient Americans wound up in America. But the glaciers and ice melted up here and flooded this area, creating this gap. Chukotka comes from the Chukchi, obviously. The word Chukchi means man with many reindeer because they are big-time reindeer herders. I think we'll start up in Wrangel Island, though. Also, look at this. So Google Earth had a hard time with the North Pole, with the Arctic Sea, and only could capture images in this little strip. Because you can see all of the ice and rocks, but nothing around it. What in the world happened? It looks so weird from above. I thought there was some kind of huge bridge I didn't know about across the Arctic. And then it like glitches out once you reach the North Pole. Look. Hello? Don't think that's what it looks like up there. Not so sure, but yeah. Glitched out pretty bad in the Arctic. So just ignore this. Here's Wrangel Island. Now I think this one didn't have any pictures. Oh, maybe it's this one. There was some Wrangel Island slideshow that didn't have any pictures. This was not the one. Okay. So here's beautiful Wrangel Island. Huge rocky coastline. Sweet, sweet polar bears. They're so cute. There's some cool bison, guys. Beautiful landscapes. Lots of reindeer. Little Arctic foxes. You can see they're turning white because they turn white in the winter. They're so cute. Puffins and I want to say skuas, but I don't know if there are skuas in the Arctic. I thought they were just Antarctic. I do not know. Typical wintry day. Look at the moon rising up above there. Riding on a reindeer. That's fun. Snowy owl going grrr. Beautiful flowers. Wow, look at this. Big snowy cliffs. And there's a woolly mammoth. Of course, not around anymore. But they used to be here on Wrangel Island. Now, when I type in Wrangel Island, it gives me a whole different slideshow. Here we go. And we can see the walruses, the world's largest population of walruses. Again, don't tell my brother. If you saw the April Fool's video that he made for me 2 years ago, you should look that up. You'll get to hear all of his feelings about walruses. It's his least favorite animal. His favorite animal, though, is a narwhal. Sweet polar bear. Oh, I did find the polar bear. Puffin. I did find the polar bear place. Let me show you. It's down on an island over here. Doom, doom, doom. Doom, doom, doom. All right. Apparently it's Hoofle Island. It sounds like Whoville Island. But if I go like this, there we go. Look at that. They're like, hey, welcome to our house. We live here. So cute. But yeah, there are many abandoned places like this that have just been taken over by nature and by polar bears. There's many, many. Fortunately, all the cool abandoned ones don't have pictures because there's nothing there. Literally nothing. This is the, Willen. I don't think there's pictures there. Oh, there is. Never mind. I always contradict myself. This is the easternmost settlement in Russia. There's the beautiful northern lights. And they say on a clear day you can see the United States from this town. There are other little settlements, but I'm pretty sure they are abandoned. Yep. Not much left there. Let me see. Yeah, those look pretty sad. Falling apart right there. While we're over here, let's look at Big Diomede. There's the Bering Strait, and here are the Diomedes. So there's no pictures for Big Diomede because, like I said, there is nothing there. The satellite pictured a bunch of snow here. My goodness. Really wintry day when it took that picture, but in this picture, it was a summery day. Let's zoom out some more. Here we go. There's Big Diomede. This is part of Russia. Here's Little Diomede. This is part of the US. Like I said, there's probably, it is just a rock in the ice. Look at that. This satellite captured this on a wintry day. All of the ice is frozen around it. Look at that. Typical day in the Arctic Circle. What is that? No, who knows? But yeah, this is why, probably why there's nothing there, right? We're on Big Diomede now. Why there's no homes or anything. It is a rock in the water, and then once it hits winter, you can't come or go. You're trapped here under all of this ice. Look at that. Look at the ocean. Wow. Pretty amazing. Those are the Diomedes. So yeah, the date line goes right between them. Isn't that cool? As a geography nerd, that's pretty awesome. All right, let's hop over. Oh, I don't think there's pictures here, which means there'll be pictures. Hey. Nailed it. Lots of pictures. But yeah, this is Siberia. This is what I think of when I think of Siberia. Either like big empty plains or big empty plains full of snow. There were definitely people sent here during the Soviets' Gulag era. But I think more in like southern Siberia was the worst of the worst. Gosh, I'm not gonna remember, but I was looking for pictures and I just came across a town that was so clearly like abandoned. Let's see if we can find one. I know that this town, is this town still around? This town looks like it's still around. Billy Bino. Yeah, look at that Soviet block style buildings. It used to have a huge power plant. I'm guessing that's over here. But it is now shut down. You can see some mining happening over here too. But oh no, it's not. That's just natural wonders. I thought this was all dug up, but it was dug up by Mother Earth, I think. You know, all this lumpy leftover from glaciers or flood receding from the river there. My bad. Sorry, Mother Nature. That's all you. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to remember to find it or where it was or what it was called, but I would always encourage you, like I always say, to explore these areas yourself and see what you can find. Yep, that doesn't look very promising, does it? There's a cool lake up here. This is actually, and I'm not gonna be able to tap it because, and look at that name. Say that 10 times fast. I have it in my recent searches. Because you can't tap on lakes to pull up the pictures. But this is actually a meteorite impact crater that just filled up with water. There's the coolest bus in the whole wide world. Look at that. And so that's why it looks kind of roundish. And it probably has all kinds of cool minerals from space in it. I bet you. But yeah. I wish I'd known that for the one video I made for the channel members. I got requested to make a video about scars in the earth, and I showed fault lines and impact craters and plate shift places, things like that. That would have been a good one to show. If I had known about it, I would have thrown that in there. Also, if you want to see that video, be sure to join my channel memberships. It's only 99 cents. And that video was really fun to make. Let's head over to the capital city. Where is it? It's over here. See this blip? It's right here on a deer. There's the big river going by. And here's the Chukotka Heritage Museum. Big saber-tooth skeleton there. Reindeers and sleds. Little wolfy friend. And look at this outfit. That'll keep you protected. And these will keep you very, very warm. All kinds of little animal friends. There's a seal, polar bear going roar. Big ships, big geese, big man. Oh, pretty church. Oh, that's right. I gotta show you something after this. There's some neat statues I'll show you in the next slideshow that I couldn't find who they were of. So someone needs to tell me. It's when I tap on a deer, it's the town slideshow. Like this guy with his dogs. Who is that? He looks so cool. There's this beautiful church here, but there's a better picture. Hold on. Actually, let me just pull it up. Yeah, see this? Who is this guy? I love him. I can't read Cyrillic. I don't know who that is, but he's got the coolest dogs. Look at this picture. They're taking the dome off, or they're putting it back on, one or the other. It just pops off. It's so funny to me. I don't know why. Thinking of the little onion domes just like boop, popping off. But you can see the big cranes here to lift cargo out of big ships as they dock in the port there. Look at the inside of the church. Gorgeous. All the little Orthodox icons there. Their big glowing halos. So pretty. That's a gorgeous church, all wooden and sparkling gold. Pretty neat. You can see lots of mining happening over here. But yeah. Let's poke around a little bit more, see what else we can find. I'm not going to be able to find that random town. I just came across it just completely random, and it looked like Pripyat in Ukraine. It was all overgrown, and it was pretty wild. But I didn't write down what it was called. Oh wow, that's an old mine there. You can see all of the wastewater there. It doesn't look like it's thriving anymore, does it? Also, how do you get here? Like, how do you get to this mining town? There's no, I guess you just have to land your airplane just on the ground somewhere. There's no landing strips. There's no roads here. There's no town here. Wait, there is. Oh, there's the entertainment store. Wow. Yeah, imagine living up here in the Arctic. I don't think I can imagine it. It's pretty wild. Look at this landscape. My goodness. If you have, what's it called? Trip to, I can't remember what it's called. Oh, we're not even in that area. But yeah, if you're afraid of little holes, don't worry, because we left that area. That is not in our area. Triptylomania? I think this is kind of like that. It's what happens when glaciers scrape away as they melt. You get landscape like that. Look at this mountain here. just a big old pimple there in the ground. Big old blister. Well, fam, I think that's about all we can find. There's not much else here. I hope you enjoyed all the polar bears, though. Do these two towns have the exact same name? Then let's look at this one. Hey, what is that? Who knows? Yeah, that town looks active. Hey, look at that. I guess we'll end the video here. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. This is an ongoing series on my channel if you're new here. And next, if you're old here, guess where we're going next? Just guess. Just guess. Do you have your guess? Yep, it's Thailand. We're going back again. Whoa. Okay, what? Show me a more Russian picture. All we need is a brown bear in the background, and that's the most Russian picture ever. We're going back to Thailand again for the millionth time. Look at all these pictures of the cars. We're going back to Thailand. Good old Thailand. Back again. But I'm not mad about it. I love Thailand. And we're going to the Kra Peninsula, which I don't think we've ever explored before. So we'll get to explore a whole new area of Thailand next time. So I hope you will join me. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. I'd greatly appreciate that. I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational. Look at all this nothing. It's so beautiful. And I hope that you have a good